You think family is supposed to love you unconditionally. You think they'll support you. You think they care. I thought so too. Until the day my parents' lies and favoritism were exposed, in front of the entire family, and a funeral gathering I will never forget. That was the day I took back my life. My name is Emily. I'm 28. All my life I was the ignored child. My parents had always made it obvious. My younger sister, Chloe, was their golden child. Every achievement, every birthday, every little success. Hers was celebrated, mine barely acknowledged. My opinions didn't matter. My ideas were ignored. I tried to please them. I excelled in school, graduated top of my class, and earned a stable career. But they always looked past me. Chloe is the star of this family, Emily. Don't be jealous. Words like knives. I believed them. Until my father's sudden illness changed everything. It was sudden. My father passed away unexpectedly. I expected grief, but what I got was exclusion. From the moment the funeral arrangements began, my mother called Chloe first for decisions. I wasn't asked anything about flowers, music, or speeches. My sister, smiling and polished, was suddenly the perfect daughter. My mother treated me like a shadow, like someone who had no right to feel, to speak, to be. I felt rage boiling quietly inside me. This was the final straw. I would not leave the truth buried, like my presence always had been. I started quietly gathering evidence. Old letters, emails, and texts showing how my parents favored Chloe financially and emotionally. Birthday gifts from my parents that clearly had monetary differences. Mine cheap, Chloe's lavish. Stories from friends and relatives who had witnessed the constant favoritism. Financial records showing how my parents had secretly funded Chloe's career and education, while leaving me to fend for myself. I collected photos showing family events where I was invisible, standing alone in the background while Chloe was center stage. It wasn't just favoritism. It was deliberate neglect. No. I had the proof. The funeral was packed. Extended family, neighbors, co-workers of my father and friends. Chloe, polished and smiling, was giving speeches about my father, acting as the perfect daughter. Mom was beside her, nodding approvingly. I walked in quietly, dressed in black, carrying a folder of evidence. No one noticed me at first. That was fine. I didn't need anyone to notice, not yet. I sat in the back, watching as the family praised Chloe and mourned the father they had favored her for, not me. When it was time for speeches, Chloe began with, "My father always believed in me and I will honor his legacy." I stood up calmly and asked for the microphone. Gasps echoed through the room. Everyone looked at me, confused, expecting me to quietly sit down. I said, "I have something to say. About my father, and about this family." I opened the folder and started revealing the truth. The financial favoritism. The emotional neglect. The letters, gifts, and photos proving my invisibility. Stories from family friends confirming the inequality. People gasped. Whispers spread. Chloe's face turned pale. Mom's confident smile faltered. "For years," I said, voice shaking but steady, "I was made to feel invisible. Ignored. Unloved. Not because of me but because of your favoritism. And I will not stay silent anymore." I went through everything calmly, showing evidence. Receipts of lavish trips for Chloe while I never had a birthday celebration. Scholarships secretly granted to Chloe while I paid my way. Letters from my parents praising Chloe and criticizing me. By the end, the room was silent. Relatives whispered among themselves. Neighbors shook their heads. Some family members openly confronted Mom and Chloe, questioning their behavior. For the first time in my life, I wasn't invisible. I wasn't ignored. I was seen. Mom tried to interrupt. "Emily, this isn't the time." "No," I said. "This is the time. This funeral isn't about you pretending to be perfect. It's about the truth." Chloe tried to protest, tears in her eyes, but I calmly handed the folder to the funeral attendees. Anyone who wanted proof could see it. Her smug smile vanished. Everyone around her was shocked. For once I held the power. After the funeral, whispers turned into confrontations. Extended family apologized to me privately. Relatives who had always silently noticed the favoritism supported me. Mom avoided speaking to me. Chloe refused to make eye contact. I finally understood. My parents' favoritism had been visible to everyone except them. And now the world knew the truth. I left the funeral that day with a new sense of power. I wasn't just Emily, the invisible daughter. I was Emily, the one who exposed the lies. I reclaimed my voice, my dignity, and my place in the family. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need revenge beyond exposing the truth. The shame, guilt, and embarrassment my parents and sister felt was enough. Weeks later, relatives and friends now treated me as equal. Mom finally called, attempting a hollow apology. Chloe refused to speak to me directly. I focused on my life, career, and independence. Sometimes revenge isn't about money, power, or hurting people physically. Sometimes it's about making them feel the weight of their lies and favoritism in public. And that's exactly what I did. If you've ever been ignored or treated unfairly by your family, or if you've experienced favoritism and lies, comment below. Have you ever exposed your family's secrets? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more dramatic stories about lies, betrayal, and emotional revenge.